In a world teeming with diverse personalities and countless interactions, it's vital to navigate our relationships with wisdom and discernment. Today we're exploring a particularly intriguing aspect of Stoic philosophy that teaches us not just whom to help, but perhaps more importantly, whom we should think twice about helping. Stoicism, with its deep roots in logic and virtue, offers us a unique lens to scrutinize human behavior, highlighting 8 types of people who might not benefit from our assistance in the ways we hope. As we delve into these insights, you'll discover how to protect your energy, invest in reciprocal relationships, and foster genuine growth, both in yourself and others. Join me in uncovering these Stoic teachings that challenge us to choose wisely who deserves our time and energy, ensuring our efforts are as effective as they are well-intentioned. If you appreciate the insights we're diving into today, a simple free favor I'll ask from you is to hit that subscribe button. And make sure you don't skip any part of the video, especially because the last group we discuss is the most crucial one. You definitely don't want to miss it. Let's go. Number 1. The ingrates. We've all encountered someone who, regardless of the amount of effort and care we put into helping them, seems perpetually dissatisfied. It's akin to filling a colander with water and watching it all leak out, leaving nothing behind. In such interactions, it often feels like our kindness evaporates before it can even be acknowledged. In Stoic philosophy, there's a valuable lesson about focusing on internal rather than external validation. Stoicism encourages us to perform acts of kindness because they are aligned with our values and virtues, not because we expect to be showered with gratitude or recognition in return. Marcus Aurelius wrote extensively about performing right actions for their own sake and not for the applause that might come afterward. This mindset helps us remain centered and true to our moral compass, regardless of the response, or lack thereof, that we might encounter. However, Stoicism also teaches the importance of protecting our mental energy. It's essential to recognize when our continuous efforts are met with consistent ingratitude, as this can lead to emotional exhaustion and cynicism. While we should not base our actions solely on the outcomes or reactions they provoke, we must also guard against becoming depleted by those who take without giving back in any form. This isn't about cutting people off at the first sign of ingratitude, but about observing patterns and recognizing when a relationship is disproportionately draining. When dealing with ingrates, it's important to apply another Stoic principle, the dichotomy of control. This principle teaches us to differentiate between what we can control, our actions and intentions, and what we cannot, others' reactions and feelings. By focusing on our sphere of control, we can continue to act according to our values without becoming overly invested in or disheartened by the reactions of others. As we interact with those who might never seem satisfied, let's remember to maintain our commitment to our virtues, recognize the limits of our influence on others' feelings, and safeguard our inner tranquility by not allowing the lack of gratitude to diminish our drive to do good. This balance allows us to remain generous and empathetic without draining the very qualities that motivate our benevolence. Number 2. The lazy. You've undoubtedly come across this type before. Individuals who seem to have an allergy to effort and a talent for dodging responsibilities. They're the ones who always find a reason not to engage, not to improve, and not to contribute. In the realm of Stoicism, we place high value on virtues like discipline and diligence. Stoicism isn't just about enduring hardships. It's about seeing the intrinsic value in work and effort. The Stoic philosopher Seneca wrote extensively about the role of hard work in shaping our character and fortifying our souls. According to him, it's not the outcomes of hard work that matter most, but the personal growth and resilience we develop along the way. Through discipline, we refine our character and become better equipped to handle whatever life throws our way. However, when we encounter someone who habitually avoids effort, our instinct might be to help by picking up their slack. While this might seem like a kindness, it's often a disservice. By continually covering for someone's laziness, we're not really helping them at all. Instead, we are enabling a detrimental habit that stunts their personal growth. If we continually shield others from the consequences of their inaction, they never experience the necessary discomfort that can spark personal development. From a Stoic perspective, enabling such behavior contradicts the very essence of personal and ethical development. Stoicism teaches that each individual must face their responsibilities and the natural consequences of their actions. This is how we learn, grow, and achieve genuine progress. Enabling someone's laziness not only hampers their growth, but can also breed resentment and imbalance in relationships. When dealing with the lazy, it's important to practice the Stoic principle of wisdom, knowing when our help is truly beneficial and when it is merely an enablement of poor habits. We should encourage self-reliance and accountability, not because we care less, but because we care correctly. By setting clear expectations and allowing natural consequences to teach where our words cannot, we help others discover the value of effort and the personal satisfaction that comes from overcoming laziness. Number 3. The irresponsible. This group is characterized by a seemingly chronic inability to accept responsibility for their actions and the outcomes they cause. We all know someone like this. They drop the ball, miss deadlines, or create chaos, but somehow it's never their fault. The excuses are endless, and accountability is nowhere to be found. In Stoic philosophy, the concept of personal responsibility is paramount. Stoics believe that while we can't control external events, we can control our responses and actions. Epictetus emphasized that our main task in life is to align our actions with our rational understanding of good and virtue. This alignment requires owning our actions and their impacts, as taking responsibility is foundational to our integrity and character development. However, what happens when we constantly bail out someone who refuses to take responsibility for their actions? When we cover for them, make excuses, or fix their mistakes without holding them accountable, we may believe we're helping. In reality, we might be doing more harm than good. Such actions can prevent them from learning the essential life skills of accountability and self-management. More so, it can breed a dependency that is unhealthy for both parties, creating a dynamic where irresponsibility is tolerated or even enabled. From a Stoic viewpoint, helping someone should not compromise our own principles, including the principle of justice, which in this context refers to giving each their due, including the consequences of their actions. Helping an irresponsible person at the expense of this principle can lead to negative outcomes, reinforcing their behavior and preventing their personal growth. When dealing with the irresponsible, Stoicism teaches us to practice wisdom and justice. Wisdom in recognizing the limits of our help and justice in allowing people to experience the natural consequences of their actions. It's about encouraging others to see the connection between their actions and their outcomes. This doesn't mean we become harsh or uncaring. Rather, we focus on empowering them through guidance, setting clear expectations, and, when necessary, stepping back to let them face the reality of their choices. Dealing with the irresponsible in a Stoic manner involves fostering an environment where accountability is encouraged and valued. It's about helping others to help themselves, building their capacity to take responsibility, and thereby enhancing their ability to contribute positively to their own lives and to society at large. This approach not only helps maintain our integrity, but also contributes to the genuine improvement of those around us. Number 4. The manipulators. These individuals are particularly skilled at bending situations to their advantage, often at the expense of others. You might know someone like this, someone who seems to always have an angle, who uses charm or guile to sway decisions in their favor, leaving a trail of imbalance and sometimes distress in their wake. In the realm of Stoicism, great emphasis is placed on the virtue of wisdom, particularly in understanding what is within our control and what is not. Manipulators thrive on controlling others through emotions, deceit, or psychological games. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius counsel us to maintain a strong mental fortress, guarding our reason and emotions against such external influences. This doesn't mean building walls and shutting people out, but rather developing a keen awareness of our own vulnerabilities and the intentions of others. Stoicism teaches us to be vigilant and discerning. By cultivating a deep sense of self-awareness and understanding our own biases and triggers, we can better shield ourselves from manipulative tactics. This involves practicing mindfulness about our interactions and the nature of the exchanges we have with others. Are we being swayed by charm? Are we being guilted into making decisions? These are critical questions that can help us recognize manipulation when it occurs. Moreover, protecting ourselves from manipulators is not just about personal peace. It's also about maintaining integrity and justice, key Stoic values. Allowing ourselves to be manipulated can lead to decisions and actions that are not in alignment with our true values, potentially causing harm to ourselves and others. In the Stoic view, each individual should live according to reason and virtue, and allowing a manipulator to sway us from this path is a disservice to our own moral development. When dealing with manipulative individuals, it's crucial to reinforce our mental defenses. We can do this by remaining firmly grounded in our principles and by being meticulously rational about our decisions. We should engage with others transparently and encourage honest dialogue, reducing the shadows in which manipulators operate. It's also helpful to set clear boundaries, communicating directly and effectively about what is acceptable and what is not in our interactions. Facing manipulators with a Stoic mindset involves recognizing the play of control, understanding our role within it, and consciously choosing to not participate in a dynamic that undermines our autonomy. This approach not only preserves our inner tranquility, but also ensures our actions remain just and aligned with our deepest values. Number 5. The perpetual critics. This group is tough to please. No matter the effort or the outcome, they have a knack for finding flaws and shortcomings. Their criticism rarely comes with encouragement or constructive feedback. Instead, it tends to be relentless and often harsh. You might recognize these people in your life. They're the ones who can dampen the spirits of an entire room with just a few words. Stoicism, however, offers a robust framework for dealing with this type of negativity. It doesn't teach us to passively accept poor treatment or unfair criticism. Rather, it encourages us to engage with such feedback in a constructive and rational manner. The philosophy urges us to distinguish between criticism that is useful and that which is merely destructive. Stoic thinkers like Epictetus taught that it's not events themselves that disturb us, but our interpretation of them. Therefore, when faced with criticism, it's essential to analyze it critically, separating useful insights that can foster growth from negative comments that serve no purpose other than to belittle or undermine. Understanding when criticism shifts from being constructive to destructive is crucial. Constructive criticism, even when it's tough to hear, is aimed at improvement. It's specific, actionable, and delivered with respect. Destructive criticism, on the other hand, is often vague, excessive, and charged with negative emotions. It does not aim to improve but to tear down, impacting not just our work or efforts, but our self-esteem and peace of mind. From a Stoic perspective, maintaining our inner tranquility is key. We must not allow the harsh words of a perpetual critic to penetrate our mental fortress and disturb our state of mind. This involves cultivating a strong sense of self-worth and detachment from external approval. By focusing on our internal values and the integrity of our actions, we can shield ourselves from the negative impacts of such criticism. Moreover, Stoicism teaches us to respond to critics with equanimity rather than defensiveness. This means listening to what is being said without immediately reacting emotionally. If there is truth in the criticism, we take it on board and use it to improve. If the critique is unfounded, we let it pass by without letting it disturb our peace. This Stoic response not only preserves our self-respect, but also often disarms the critic, demonstrating that their words do not have the power they perhaps hoped for. In dealing with the perpetual critics, then, the challenge is not to silence them, that's often out of our control, but to fortify ourselves against the potential harm of their words. By doing so, we maintain our focus on personal growth and continue to live in alignment with our true values, unaffected by the baseless judgments of others. This approach doesn't just protect us, it allows us to thrive amidst adversity, staying true to our course and our principles. Number 6. The narcissists. These individuals are often easy to spot as their world clearly revolves around their own interests. They are the centers of their own universes and tend to make sure everyone knows it. Interactions with narcissists are typically draining. They take a lot of energy and often give nothing substantial in return. This imbalance is not only exhausting, but can also be deeply unsatisfying and emotionally debilitating. In Stoic philosophy, there's a strong emphasis on mutual respect and support within relationships. Stoicism teaches us to foster connections that are based on reciprocity and moral virtue. The famous Stoic philosopher Seneca emphasized that relationships should be a source of strength and mutual growth, not a one-sided affair where one party continually benefits at the expense of the other. When dealing with narcissists, the Stoic approach would advise us to examine the nature of our contributions versus what we receive in return. This isn't about keeping a strict score, but rather recognizing when a significant imbalance persists. If you find yourself always giving, whether it's time, energy, or emotional support, and receiving little to nothing in return, it might be time to reconsider the dynamics of the relationship. Stoicism doesn't mean enduring negative treatment silently. Rather, it encourages us to make rational decisions about where we invest our energies. Stoics believe in using reason to guide our actions, which includes making thoughtful decisions about who we allow into our lives. If a relationship with a narcissist is proving to be harmful or unchangeably one-sided, a Stoic might decide that stepping back is the most logical and self-respecting action. Moreover, Stoicism teaches us the importance of self-care through the practice of apatheia, or peace of mind. Continuously engaging with someone who drains your energy and gives nothing back can disrupt this peace. Therefore, maintaining a distance from such dynamics can be a form of practicing Stoic wisdom. It allows us to preserve our mental and emotional resources and to focus them on relationships and pursuits that are more aligned with our values and well-being. While it's important to be compassionate and helpful, it's equally vital to ensure that we are not diminishing ourselves in the process. By applying Stoic principles, we can strive to cultivate relationships that are balanced, respectful, and mutually nourishing. In cases where this balance cannot be achieved, like often with narcissists, Stepping back can be the most sensible and respectful choice to ourselves. Number 7. The opportunists. These individuals have a knack for finding angles and advantages in every situation. They navigate through life with a keen eye for opportunities, unfortunately, often at the expense of others. Opportunists typically engage in relationships and situations where they can extract maximum benefit with minimal contribution, leaving a trail of one-sided transactions behind them. In Stoic philosophy, there's a strong emphasis on practicing virtues such as generosity and kindness. However, Stoicism also underscores the importance of wisdom and prudence. The philosopher Epictetus emphasized that while it's important to be open-handed, we must not do so to the extent of our own detriment. This is where the Stoic concept of practical wisdom comes into play. It teaches us to discern the difference between genuine need and exploitation. Stoicism counsels us to be mindful of when our generosity is being taken advantage of. It's one thing to give freely and without expectation of return, but quite another to continually support someone who has no interest in reciprocating or contributing equally. Recognizing this imbalance is critical, as unchecked, it can lead to not only depletion of our resources, but also to feelings of resentment and being taken for granted. Setting boundaries is a crucial Stoic practice in dealing with opportunists. Boundaries help protect our time, energy, and emotional well-being. They aren't barriers to keep people out, but rather guidelines that help ensure our relationships are mutually respectful and beneficial. By clearly communicating our limits and expectations, we can better manage how we engage with those who may be inclined to overstep or take undue advantage. Moreover, in Stoic thought, the idea of preferred indifference, things that are nice to have but not essential to our happiness, teaches us to hold loosely to material gains and focus more on our inner virtues. However, this doesn't mean allowing others to exploit those indifferents at will. Instead, we are taught to use them wisely in ways that align with our values and contribute to the common good, not just to the good of those who might wish to use us for their ends. In dealing with opportunists, Stoicism doesn't advocate for a cessation of generosity, but recommends a balanced approach where generosity is tempered with wisdom. This balance allows us to help others genuinely and sustainably without compromising our well-being or principles. In essence, it encourages us not only to be good, but also to be wise in our goodness. Number 8. The envious. These individuals can be particularly challenging to interact with because they often begrudge others' successes and achievements. Their envy can manifest as subtle jabs or outright hostility, making any accomplishments feel overshadowed by their negative reactions. Stoicism provides a valuable lens through which to view and deal with envy. According to Stoic philosophy, emotions like envy stem from false beliefs about the importance of external things such as wealth, status, or recognition. Stoics teach that true value lies in our own virtue and character, not in external accolades or possessions. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about focusing on one's own actions and maintaining inner virtue regardless of external circumstances. This perspective helps us understand that the envy of others is a reflection of their internal struggles and insecurities, not a true measure of our worth or achievements. Moreover, Stoicism encourages us to maintain equanimity, calmness, and composure in the face of both praise and criticism. This balanced approach allows us to appreciate our successes without becoming overly attached to them, and to face envy without being disturbed by it. When we encounter envy, Stoicism teaches us to respond with empathy rather than resentment, understanding that envy is often a sign of someone's dissatisfaction with their own life can help us approach such individuals with compassion rather than defensiveness. Stoicism also reminds us to focus steadfastly on our own path and progress. It teaches that our primary duty is to cultivate our character and live in accordance with reason. By keeping our attention on our personal development and staying true to our ethical principles, we naturally protect ourselves from being swayed by the negative energies of the envious. This focus ensures that our energy is invested constructively in our growth and in contributing positively to the world around us, rather than being drained by the negativity of others. In handling relationships with envious individuals, Stoicism doesn't suggest cutting them off or harboring negative feelings. Instead, it advocates for understanding the root of their emotions and continuing to act with integrity, regardless of how others may perceive or react to our successes. In this way, we not only maintain our peace of mind, but also set an example of how to manage success and recognition with grace and humility. By adopting a Stoic approach to dealing with envy, we empower ourselves to remain unaffected by external opinions and focused on what truly matters, our own moral and personal development. This not only enriches our lives, but also offers a serene path forward, free from the disturbances that envy can cause in our social and professional circles. And there you have it, a journey through understanding the types of people who may challenge our peace, but also teach us about our own strengths and values. Remember, in the landscape of life, our greatest power lies in where we place our focus and how we choose to respond to the challenges we encounter. Embrace your path with courage and wisdom, knowing that every interaction is an opportunity to practice virtue and deepen your understanding of both yourself and others. Thank you for joining me today on Stoic Journal. If you found this discussion enlightening, be sure to check out the video popping up on your screen now for more insights into living a Stoic life. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with those who might benefit from a little more Stoic wisdom in their lives. Thanks for being part of our community, and until next time, keep striving for excellence with tranquility.